Ever wondered what it would be like in a world that was filled with, I don't know, your favorite characters from movies, TV, and even video games and what have you? Well, not that you get mixed up with what I say from my channel. Well, I'm just gonna say you put them all together and you got this film right here. Alright? Let's talk about Ready Player One. Back days, entertainment rankings and reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2018 sci-fi flick Ready Player One, released by Warner Brothers, along with Amblin Entertainment, Village Roadshow Pictures, and others. Directed by Steven Spielberg, from a screenplay by Zach Penn, and the author of the book of the same name, Ernest Cline. The film stars Tye Sheridan, Olivia Cooke, Ben Mendelsohn, Lena Waithe, T.J. Miller, Simon Pegg, and Mark Rylance. The film takes place in 2045, where much of humanity uses the Oasis, a virtual reality simulation, to escape the real world. The teenage orphan finds clues to a contest that promises ownership of the Oasis to the winner, and he and his allies try to complete it before an evil corporation can do so. This film was, wow, such a big film and what have you. Now, of course, the film recently celebrated its 5th anniversary earlier this year. It was released March 29th of 2018 and premiered at South by Southwest in Austin. Let's see. 2.5 weeks before it was released. Anyway, I had only seen the film once and was in theaters, but if you've seen my rewatches ranking for the films I rewatched last month, you'll know this film came up on there, and I finally got to rewatch it for a second time. Anyway, this film was so big and what have you. And as with the novel, many popular culture references appear throughout the film, ranging from The Shining, the Back to the Future franchise, Godzilla, and even the Iron Giant. Anyway, critics really gave this film some praise. But before I get started, let's get into our story. In a dystopian 2045, people seek to escape from reality through the Oasis, which is ontologically anthropocentric sensory immersive simulation. That's a mouthful. A multiplayer virtual reality entertainment universe created by James Halliday and Ogden Morrow of Gregarious Games. After Halliday's death, a pre-recorded message left by his avatar, Anorak, announces a contest granting ownership of the Oasis to the first to find the golden Easter egg that sits behind a locked gate, which can only be opened by completing 3 challenges to acquire the necessary keys. The contest has lured several gunters, or egg hunters, and piked the interest of Nolan Sorrento, the CEO of Innovative Online Industries, or IOI, who seeks to control the Oasis himself by inserting intrusive online advertising. IOI dispatches an army of indentured servants and employees called Sixers to search for the egg. Teenage orphan Wade Watts' avatar, Parzival, an avid gunter, participates in the first challenge, an unbeatable race along with his best friend, H, and Artemis, a female online streamer whose avatar Parzival has a crush on. Parzival regularly revisits Halliday's journals, in which is a simulated archive of Halliday's life and hobbies run by the curator. Here he discovers he can win the race by driving backward and receives the copper key from Anorak. Artemis, and his friends Dio and Sho all win the race afterward, later being collectively named the High Five on the Oasis scoreboard. Sorrento asks mercenary IROC to learn Parzival's true identity, intending to bribe him to win the contest on IOI's behalf. Wade and Aramis discover from the journals that how they once dated Morrow's wife, Kira Underwood. I said Kira, Kira. Wade and Aramis visit the Distracted Globe nightclub to look for clues, where Wade reveals his identity and confesses his love to Aramis. They survive an IOI raid in which Aramis abandons Wade, explaining that her father died in debt to IOI and that she believes Parzival is not taking the contest seriously. IROC, having eavesdropped on their conversation, reveals his findings to Sorrento, who contacts Wade when offered. When rejected, Sorrento attempts to dispose of Wade by bombing his home, killing his Aunt Alice and her boyfriend Rick, among others. Armis's player, Samantha Cooke, takes Wade in. Together they realize the second challenge relates to how they regret of not pursuing a relationship with Kira. The High Five search a recreation of the Overlook Hotel, where Aramis asks Kira to dance and wins the Jade Key. Sorrento's subordinate, Fennel Zandor, storms the Gunter's hideout, taking Samantha to an IOI loyalty center to pay off her father's debt. Wade escapes with the help of the other Hi-Fi users, Helen Harris, Toshiro, and Sue, who are secretly H, Dio, and Sho. Samantha escapes confinement after H.M. Parzival hacks Sorrento's Oasis rig. I'm going to the final act ending. You know the procedure. 5 cents to sell this video. Go to the description box below as I count down. If you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. The third challenge is found in Castle Anarok on Planet Doom, where players must guess Halliday's favorite Atari 2600 game to earn the key. The crystal key, that is. IROC places an impenetrable force field around the castle using the orb of Osavox, but Aramis soon disables it. The High Five lead an army of Oasis players against IOI's forces. Parzival kills Samantha's avatar, allowing her to flee IOI, with the High Five picking up her up nearby. Parzival and Sorrento fight in the Oasis, with Sorrento detonating the Cataclysm bomb, wiping out every avatar, including himself. Parzival survives using an extra life coin he won in a bet with the curator. He plays adventure, winning the crystal key by locating Warren Robinette's Easter egg. He uses the 3 keys to enter a treasure room where Anorak offers him a contract to sign. Parzival recognizes it as the one where Morrow signed over his shares when Halliday forced him out of gregarious games and refuses to sign it. Anorak transforms into Halliday, who expresses his regrets in life and awards Parzival the Easter egg. Ogden Morrow appears, revealing that he is the curator. Wade decides to run the Oasis with a high five, inviting Morrow to stay on as a consultant. After H sends the police a copy of Sorrento confessing to the bombing, he and Fennel are arrested. As the IOI loyalty centers are shut down, the High Five make the controversial choice to close the Oasis twice a week for people to spend more time in the real world, including Wade and Samantha, who in the end start a relationship. End of story. So what did I think of Ready Player One? Well, despite I've only seen it twice, once in theaters and just more recently on Tubi before it was even dropped last month, I gotta say, it's an awesome film. It was just as good as it was in the theater when I rewatched it. I gotta say, Spielberg had delivered us a really, really good film. The film was such a big success, it went on to make $592 million worldwide. It got lots of good reviews, though it currently sits at 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. According to them, they say it is a sweetly nostalgic thrill ride that neatly encapsulates Spielberg's strengths while adding another solidly engrossing adventure to his filmography. In a review on RogerEbert.com, one person wrote that the film's overwhelming nature and nonstop action will likely thrill fans of pop culture, while he observed narrative weaknesses such as a lack of depth among the supporting characters. He felt that they ultimately do not hinder the film from working on the level of technical blockbuster mastery that Spielberg helped define. True, Variety called the film a coruscating explosion of pop culture eye candy and found the sequence based on The Shining to be irresistible, but criticized Spielberg's separation of fantasy and reality and said the film was more activity than it does layers. Sure, it was mostly more positive than mixed and what have you, but nevertheless, I felt like this film was a blast, where it had all sorts of pop culture references and what have you. This was a mix of just about everything. As I mentioned, there was stuff from The Shining. There was even Ultraman and the Iron Giant and RX 782 Gundam even. Incredible. Even Spielberg also allowed the T-Rex from his own Jurassic Park to be included, and a few other things. But anywho, but Spielberg was reluctant to include references to his own movies for the film, but eventually include references for both, not just Jurassic Park, but Back to the Future as well. And I gotta say, it was awesome. Some of these were surprises. Some of them I knew they would be in there. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. Critics praised Spielberg's direction, as well as the brisk pacing. Yes, the pacing was very good. The visual effects, yes, I agree with that. And the performances of, Tye Sheridan as Wade Watts and Mark Rylance as James Halliday. I am going to say they were both really good. As for the rest of the cast, Olivia Cooke played Samantha, aka Artemis. She was very good. Ben Mendelsohn played Sorrento, who was very good. Lena Waithe played 8. TJ Miller played IROC. And Simon Pegg played the Curator. So anyway, I gotta tell you, this had a whole lot of stuff to offer. Alan Silvestri, who's done scores on numerous great films, was brought on board, considering he originally were going to have John Williams, but he left in favor of scoring Spielberg's previous film, The Post, which came out a few months before this, the previous year. Nevertheless, it was so incredible. And it even had some pretty good popular tunes as well. At Spielberg's request, Silvestri references his own music from Back to the Future within the film's score, as well as quoting music written by other composers, including Max Steiner's theme from King Kong and and other films. So anyway, I thought this was just so awesome. Now, since this did so well, Klein stated he believes there's a good chance that if it does well, Warner Bros. Will want to make a sequel. Doesn't know if Spielberg would want to dive back in because he would know what he's getting into. He said that it's the third hardest film he's made out of dozens and dozens of movies. Now, Klein actually wrote a sequel called Ready Player 2, which came out in 2020. So we'll see what happens if that becomes a movie. But anyway, Ready Player 1, great cast, great score, great pop culture references, but great visual effects, pacing, etc., etc., etc. But would I recommend this film? I would say hell yeah, definitely look into Ready Player One. I think you'll really like it. You won't be disappointed. If you're into a lot of good stuff in life, if you like some of Spielberg's great epic films, such as, well, Back to the Future and what have you, then you'll feel right at home with Ready Player One. I think you'll really like it. But anyway, what did you think of Ready Player One? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you my Saturday morning TV log of Beethoven, which I was supposed to do last Saturday, but because of what happened a week ago, well, I think if you've seen my apology video message, then you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, check out my reviews for some of these, these other two films that great classics that Spielberg directed. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the first Indiana Jones film, which is Raiders of the Lost Ark from 1981, or go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review of Jurassic Park from 1993. Or if you'd like another kind of a film with a little video game feel to it, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of 1982's cult classic Tron. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.